Welcome, our virtual water cooler friends, to the 42nd episode of Into the Filmverse. What is Into the Filmverse, you ask? Well, that's a great question. It's a movie fan podcast covering all types of film content, including movie news, new releases, and a variety of past releases. I'm Mytchel Chandler.
And I'm Bryce Payne.
And today we are discussing Sony's newest Marvel installment, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond, the musical drama of Dear Evan Hansen, the new French horror thriller film TITANE, with a few sprinkles of movies we have watched in the meantime.
It's been a busy couple weeks.
It has been. And hey, we talk about a lot of movies on this podcast, and if you want to hear our reviews for the films we talk about today, or even some that we don't bring up, then join us on Letterboxd, a social platform for movie reviews. You can find me, Mytchel Chandler, at Mytch Reviews, and that's MYTCH.
You can find me, Bryce Payne, at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews.
So before we dive into our weekly movie watches, we're going to discuss the latest movie news and trailers. So this week, we first want to talk about, before we even dive into the wonderful trailers and movie news, we always like to start out with the new Disney Plus shows, and we have to talk about the new Disney, basically Party Thor, and then the Ultron.
What if Ultron won, and what if the Watcher broke his oath?
Exactly. So that's the what if you had the titles down, and I'm like, mine was Party Thor and the Invasion of Supreme Ultron Part 1 and 2.
I shit you not, after the end of What If Ultron won, I looked at Jada and was like, the next episode is going to be called What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? And then like the following Tuesday they were like, I was like, oh shit, I'm right.
You called it. That's dope. So I watched these like all back to back to back. And I guess we'll start with Party Thor because you thought this was like the weakest episode.
Dude, if I ranked this series, this would be the bottom of the barrel. Like I no joke. I would like this was for me the worst episode in the series.
I'd have to think about it, but I would either put this at the top or the zombie Spider-Man one. I love this episode of Party Thor, and I'll tell you why. Because it envisioned exactly what would happen if Loki. I just love the idea of Loki not being around and what happens to Thor, and Thor becoming a party god, and just being like a kind of like a loose cannon. And I loved it. And then for Loki and him to be best friends, and then like for him to destroy planets when he goes and have parties on them. It honestly felt like something out of Rick and Morty a little bit.
I just didn't like the way Chris Hemsworth, amazing dude. Voice actor, I don't know, man. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
some of these actors, like they're actors, but they're not voice actors. There's a difference,
right?
Like,
exactly.
And Chris Hemsworth's performance is like Party Thor. I was like, I feel like he's trying, but it's just not coming off as good as it could.
Did he do the Thor?
He did.
Okay. Honestly, I wasn't. I didn't even feel like it, to be honest with you, because it didn't feel like that. It almost felt like awkward a little bit.
Yeah, it's like stiff, and I know it's just because he's an actual like body actor and not a voice actor,
right?
But it's like I didn't like his performance in this, and then like the plot itself, I was like, I don't care about Jane. I don't care about the Thor movie. I don't want this episode.
I loved. I don't know, just something the whole party, and then he brings in like just everybody from the universe, and you had Howard the Duck there, and he gets married to Darcy. Yeah, he gets married to Darcy, and honestly, I don't know why, but I love Howard the Duck, and I really want to see a Howard the Duck live action film.
There is one.
No, please no. I want to see one in the MCU.
Duck boobs? Hey, come on, the guy who made Star Wars directed it. Come on, man. Yeah, I see that look. Yeah, George Lucas directed Howard the Duck.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. I don't want that information in my head. Please take that back out.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't like this episode. Like the most shocking thing in the episode is when Ultron showed up at the end, because I was like,
okay, yeah, so that happened. What? See, okay, but here's the thing with those last 3 episodes, and kind of my criticism. One of my criticisms of this whole What If series is Marvel. Like, it seemed like they were gonna do one of these things where like, oh, what if this happened? What if this happened? You know, and then they just
tried to interconnect it all.
And I was like, I'm mad for 2 reasons. I'm mad at myself because I enjoyed it, but I'm also mad at them because like they just doing something again where you just mash everything together. I was like, why can't we just have standalone things that act by themselves? Why does everything have to be always connected? You know,
I was upset about that, and we'll get there in the final episode. I'm not like we said. Yeah.
Honestly,
I'll talk about more about my feelings on that in the final episode.
I think for you, it might be the last 2 episodes might be a little bit more distinct because you watched them in 2 separate weeks. I watched them back to back, so I can't really distinguish the two. You mind refreshing me on what happened in the first one?
Okay, so what if Ultron 1 basically shows like Natasha and Clint
Oh yeah, that was a really
in the
cool episode.
apocalypse, and then like trying to get I want to call him Hans, but I know it's not his fucking name.
Oh, Zola.
Zola, yeah. Han Zola, is that his name? Was I right?
I don't know if it's Han, but I think Hans Gruber. Maybe you're thinking of.
I think I'm close. I know I'm fucking close.
Yeah. But Zola.
They're trying to get Zola to infect Ultron because Ultron has like all the Infinity Stones, destroyed the fucking planet, and now he's going around other worlds and fixing the planet.
And they got the arrow.
Dude, I laughed so hard when when fucking Thanos showed up and Vision just fucking cut him in half immediately.
I didn't like that.
I was
so mad.
I was like, damn, all their problems really could have been solved so fast in the main universe.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all really just did that to Thanos like that easily? I was like, that's not how it works. But all right.
There's a lot of things though. Like these episodes showed us like some of the stuff in the main universe they overdid. Like they overthought a lot of things, and then the other universes they're like, yeah, we just cut Thanos in half and it's done.
I like he just goes,
what?
I did. Did James Spader did the voice for this, right?
I have no clue.
I think he might have did because it sounds so good. Like I love his voice as Ultron.
I wouldn't put money on it because I feel like I remember people complaining that he didn't do the voice.
Okay, I mean, but it sounded very close though.
It sounded very close. I thought it was. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna fucking figure it out.
Well, while you do that, I want to tell you my thoughts of this episode because I really think they could have made this into a film, just like a standalone film with these two, and it would have been so cool. Like a post-apocalyptic trying to stop Ultron.
Oh yeah, no, this makes Ultron from the actual MCU look like a fucking chump.
I know, like just
like what a wasted potential.
Just imagine, even if you had like an extra hero or two, like just you have Black Widow, Hawkeye, and then like like that film of them stopping him. Just don't even go into the multiverse part of it, but then you just have like Ultron like in a post-apocalyptic world where everything is like destroyed. That would be such a cool like live action film. I would be so like that would be almost like Joker level, I think. Just as far as like the rawness, like that you wouldn't necessarily see in like another another Marvel film.
Why can't they put people on cast lists in alphabetical order? It would make so much more sense.
It usually would.
This is a fucking disaster. Like,
so the end of that basically ends where like Ultron realizes there's a multiverse.
Yeah, he like sees the Watcher and is like, "Hello there."
Dude, the Watcher's so powerful. I didn't realize that.
No, yeah, dude, that dude's like he's a god. Like Ultron beat the shit out of a god in that episode.
I know.
And their fight scene was so good.
I really think the Watcher would have won that one, even if he just took him hand to hand. I think he still would have won. But you know why I'm confused about that is because like, okay, if the Watcher's a god and he watches all these other universes, then like the Infinity Stone shouldn't affect him that much, right? You know, I also noticed though is that like Ultron used the Infinity Stones more than Thanos did.
Oh yeah, no, he made Thanos. The Thanos had no clue what he was doing. Ultron fucking destroyed galaxies. Like
galaxies, and not only that, but
he ate a universe or a galaxy.
Remember, you saw him creating like his own ship and he created Ultrons and stuff like that. Just imagine if Thanos created multiple Thanoses.
The guy who played him was Ross Marquand, who was Red Skull in Endgame on the planet.
Oh, okay.
But he voiced Ultron. He's also in The Walking Dead. Really good actor.
That's cool. I mean, I ain't mad about it. I mean, sometimes you can't get the actors back to do the,
But now that I know who the actor is, I'm like, no, he did really good.
Honestly, like I honestly thought it was James Spader. That's how good it was.
Yeah, no, it was solid. Yeah.
So the last episode, though, I mean, you had everybody joining forces, and again, without Doctor Strange, that wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, no. Okay, so the final episode has them gather the people in the multiverse, and when you saw Gamora, did you get confused and go check the episode list to see if you missed an episode? We did.
I mean, I knew she was going to be in this because I had seen that somewhere, and so like I told in my head, and I was just like, I feel like I should know more about this. But
so there was originally a 10-episode series, but due to COVID, they had to cut an episode out.
And that was the episode.
They chose to cut out the Gamora episode.
With Tony Stark.
But then it's like if Gamora is so important in the final episode, like not overly important, but she's there. Why even have her there if you're like not gonna?
Maybe they already shot the other episode by the time they had decided to cut it.
I don't know. You know what? You understand, right?
I see what you're saying.
It's weird and like it kind of took me out of the episode for a second because we had to go check to see if we missed one because I was like,
that's fair.
When the fuck did she show up? But then after I learned like they cut, I was like, it makes sense, but I hate it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. I was just like,
also,
okay.
I figured Killmonger and T'Challa would have way more interaction than they did, especially with Killmonger literally killing his T'Challa.
Ooh, good point. My thing between that is, I guess my counterpart to that, I would just say like, I mean, they don't know what happened in each other's universes, right? So
Well,
they don't
I
know much.
literally just like I
And then-
shrugged. Basically, I was like, all right, whatever. Like
And then-
there's nothing you can do about it, but it's whatever.
Episode's
right?
like 30 minutes too, right?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, like, it's an anthology series. I'll get over it. Fuck it.
It would have been cool though. You're right. It would've
And
been cool.
I really like the final episode, man. Like, it was solid.
It was really good. See, that's why I'm torn about it because I'm tired of everything
It's
being
good,
connected.
but then like when you look at the connected, and you're like, oh, okay, because like I didn't think it was all gonna be connected, and then like when they started, like when he went to Doctor Strange and like what if Ultron won, I was like, oh no.
I'll be honest, the way like Ultron looked with his like armor and like the Vision,
he looked good.
I honestly
loved
like
it.
I was thinking, I was like, this is starting to get too much into like, this looks like it feels like an anime at this point. I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that because it's like it just feels like it's getting too much into like going too far. Like if I saw that in live action, I'm like that's dumb.
I did like them bringing up like Infinity Stones are unique to their universes.
Right,
So,
that
like,
was cool.
I was like, solid. All right, give it some actual reasoning behind shit and making it why like Loki like couldn't just take stones to other universes during his show
Oh, good
because they
point.
wouldn't have worked.
They wouldn't have.
So like,
And that's kind of actually that part of his canon because this is works. So, you know what would be cool though? I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about Captain Carter. I just feel like, the reason I say that
I feel
is because I like I like
feel-
her as a character, but I think it's my whole issue with it is that it's Britain, and I know that's like because the whole idea because it's Captain America, right? And like, and I was like, I get that she's from Britain, but I'm just like, but like the shield honestly is what bothers me.
So
Oh my gosh, wait, when
Black Widow got a shield.
dude, that was so cool.
I'm pretty sure that's a Red Guardian shield.
I think so too. Yeah, it was like
Because I was like, ooh,
that was smooth. And
ooh.
then she was using the shield so smooth, and I'm like, ooh. I
Yeah,
was like,
there's
just
like-
imagine if you give her a shield too. Like, oh,
You're teaming up against Ultron, both of them hit him with the shield. I was like,
that was a cool
oh,
moment.
who the fuck needs like Mjolnir when I could have had two people with fucking shields thrown
I
at
know.
Thanos? Like,
That would have been cool. That would have been a cool moment.
but no, I mean, overall, I thought the series was pretty good. Some episodes definitely shone over others.
Yeah, I mean, exactly because like they just built. It was honestly like a little MCU project. Like they built each character up, and then they just pulled them all together.
I cringed so much when they're like Guardians of the Multiverse because I was like, I didn't need that.
They did that, and I was like, hey,
I
you're
was like,
funny.
so we have Guardians of the Galaxy, the Avengers, the Revengers,
The Guardians
and
of
the
the Multiverse.
Multiverse. No, dude, like that's too much. Like, and then all I could think about was like the Watcher pulled these people out. I was like, you telling me there's not a universe where like you don't have evil Killmonger you could go pull?
So
Like
let me ask you.
that was your best choice?
I thought about that. I was like, you're pulling evil Killmonger. Why?
Like that's your choice. He killed Tony Stark, all these people. He killed T'Challa.
Honestly,
You're gonna put him in a room with T'Challa?
You could have took out evil Killmonger, and well, I mean, he did the at the end, I guess. So that part. Anyways, so I definitely. I mean, I digged the like at least the last 3 episodes. The rest of it was like meh for me. At least it built up who those characters were. But again, I really want to see.
I did like callbacks though. Like when he brought the zombies through, I was like,
That was
I
cool.
like that. Like bringing up, like if you're gonna bring all the episodes together, yeah, bring in the
Oh,
zombies.
because it was like, it's not about the zombies. It's what brought with her, and it was Wanda. And I was like,
dude, I thought it was gonna be zombie Thanos. I was so disappointed.
oh, that would have been cool.
I want like after he cut Thanos in half, I wanted to see Thanos come back as like a zombie and just fucking beat the shit out of Ultron.
But
But I got Wanda instead, and I was like,
kind of scary.
all
Though.
right, yeah, dude. When she got so sad when she saw his vision,
I know.
I was like, damn, so she still remembers? Fuck.
Ooh.
But
Anyway,
no, I thought the series was okay. I don't know how I feel about season 2. I'm kind of like still,
as long as they don't focus on the same characters.
yeah.
Like,
No, the guy they had playing the Watcher is so good too. We actually saw him in a movie this week.
oh really?
His name is Jeffrey Wright. He played.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was
Felix.
right.
He played Felix in No Time to Die.
He's also going to be playing Batman, not Batman, but he's playing
Commissioner Gordon.
Gordon Batman.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about some of that other Bond in a little bit. Otherwise, we can jump on to some trailers and movie news we watched. We watched Licorice Pizza trailer. This movie's called Licorice Pizza.
Okay,
if you don't believe me,
so-
look it up.
Do you know that this is really high on people's like best picture list?
I don't know. I
Like,
just
people,
laughed when
people
I.
have it in the top 10 for what could be nominated for best picture, and I was looking at it and I was like, this looks stupid as hell.
So a lot of my
It
friends are
reminds me
looking
of,
forward
like-
to this
It reminds
too.
me of like Lady Bird and shit.
Similar
And
to
I'm like, but I don't need this.
Honestly, like whenever I think I was just like, all right, I guess I watch this because it seems kind of funny. Is when she like opened the door and she's
You wanna
like,
see my
"You want to see my
boobs?"
boobs?" And then she walks in there and she just opens up her shirt and he's just like, "Can I touch him?" And she's like, "No," and then she just walks away.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I was like, I don't know what this film's about. And,
This
and then
is-
they're pouring gasoline in some guy's mouth, and I'm just like,
oh, you know why people are excited for this?
Hmm.
This is the same director who made There Will Be Blood and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Phantom
yeah.
Thread, which are both Best Picture nominated films, which is why this is so high on the list.
what's the name again?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
He also made
Interesting trailer.
He also made Boogie Nights and Punch Drunk Love and Magnolia and
Again, this is the type of film that I'm like, all right, I'll watch these in between the
these
major
are like
blockbusters.
this is like a filler film for me.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see this in theaters. Like I'm gonna be straight up. Like I'm going to,
Same.
but I don't want to.
But I probably wouldn't watch it if it was at home. Let's be honest.
No, I just have no interest in this movie. Like it just looks so weird. And the actors do not look good to me at all. Like I get it, they're supposed to be actual people,
But
they look so fucking awkward in this movie.
They do. I guess hopes that it turns out okay.
Look at this photo they have for the movie on Letterboxd. You look at her like
Oh yeah,
like
her in this photo. If you go to Letterboxd, the cover photo, and even just the poster actually is just nips for days, and he's just staring at her all creepily from behind.
yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't like movies that sexualize things like that. Like that's not what interests me. Like unneeded sex scenes are unneeded.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I gotta imagine though, because I think he was some sort of director or something like that for a play or something like that, right? So I think he might have had a room. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I was just theorizing. Otherwise, we also got some information on the new Harry Potter friend, like a new Harry Potter film.
Yeah, we got what is it, 5 seconds? 5 second
yeah.
clip.
It was nothing actually. It was Fantastic Beasts 3. It gets its title, The Secrets of Dumbledore.
I wish we all bet that like he's not actually Dumbledore's brother.
That'd be interesting.
And Grindelwald's just fucking with him, and his brother was actually the baby that drowned, but Grindelwald doesn't know that.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know how I feel about it because I love Harry Potter. Like I'm down 100%, but I'm also like the title's cool, but they're recasting Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, and I don't like that. But that's just me. You know?
Yeah, no, I know.
That's my personal preference. I'm like, he's already done 2 movies as that character. Just leave him the fuck alone.
I didn't even like. I'll be honest. Wait, he was in the first one.
He just played a cameo at the very end when they revealed him.
Honestly, like I don't even like the Grindelwald character, so like I can care less.
I am interested because like Dumbledore and Grindelwald's famous duel that this series is building up to
Oh yeah.
takes place at the end of World War II, and it's like why World War II ended.
No, I mean, sorry, I do like the Grindelwald character, I guess, as far as like what it means in terms of Dumbledore.
The guy they recast Johnny Depp with though is really good.
Is he?
It's Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah,
That sounds super familiar.
He played young Hannibal in the Hannibal show. He was in Another Round. God, he's in so much shit.
He's a lot of stuff, yeah.
He's such a good actor though that where I'm mad Johnny Depp's getting replaced, but at least they didn't replace him with someone that's like not good.
That's fair. That is very fair. And
he was in Doctor Strange as he starts with a K. I can't fucking remember the names. He played the villain other than Dormammu, Caecilius.
Oh, Caecilius, yeah, that's it.
And then he was also in Rogue One as the dad.
Oh, okay.
He's a good actor, so do what you gotta do, bro.
Exactly. So April 15th, 2022. They also had a release date. That's when it comes out. So
David Yates is directing. Oh shit, he's directed so many Harry Potter movies. This is gonna be solid. He directed Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, Fantastic Beasts, and Crimes of Grindelwald. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
I don't know though. Second Fantastic Beasts was like, eh.
I didn't like. I liked the flashback stuff to hit like Hogwarts, but the rest of it, I was like,
First one solid.
It's like, come on, move it along, get to the stuff.
Exactly. So another cool piece of information. This is Marvel related. Kathryn Han, is going to be starring in an Agatha series, being in development.
I
for
heard
Disney
about
Plus.
that. Yes, I'm excited. Let's go.
I was just like,
this is the Blade movie release date got leaked.
No, but I'm assuming it's probably like 2023.
2022.
Ooh, it's next year.
October 2022.
Well,
we should learn more about that in November when they have their panel.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll cover that as soon as
because it got leaked on a Brazilian Marvel Brazilian thing. Like the release date got leaked, and everyone was just like, hold up.
Well, that'd be cool to talk about once we get confirmation on that. But yeah, hopefully that'd be cool in October.
I just want a new Blade movie. It's been so long. 16 years.
So yeah, I mean, so basically with the Kathryn Han, I think it's cool. I mean, I
don't know how much they could do with her character on her own.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do either. I think Agatha.
I hope it's not a prequel, because I don't need to see how she got to Westview. I just want to continue it.
Prequels are lame. So also some more Marvel news. Will Poulter is back as Adam Warlock.
Dude,
is Adam Warlock.
I have had so many issues with this in my head over the last day. Like, I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, I've seen some photos of him now where I'm like, okay, he looks pretty good, but they describe Adam Warlock as like a perfect man, like an angel of and then I'm like, you cast the dude for We're the Millers.
That's exactly why, and I think that's just stuck in our heads from what that guy is. Like that quintessentially is Will Poulter.
But like, you hired the awkward next door neighbor kid to be Adam Warlock, the perfect man. Are you kidding me? You could have gotten Steve Rogers, put him in some fucking makeup. Like Chris Evans, just put him in fucking makeup. There you got Adam Warlock, the perfect man. Fucking fits. Leave it alone.
I want you to. So I do know what you're saying there, but I want you to go ahead and try and consider this for two things.
No. See, I'm not mad about it. It just seems
not
weird
you,
to me.
Not just you, but generally in general too. If you're also like thinking of Will Poulter as Adam Warlock, think about Camille Nugiani or Mugiani. I forgot how to say his last name. How he was like a comedic actor, and they made him an Eternal. They buffed him up to be an Eternal, and so I'm a superhero.
No, see, like that's another thing is I'm like, let these people do like
Chris
new
Pratt.
things, right? Like let fucking comedic actors do serious roles because they blow you away. But it's just such a it was so out of nowhere. Like no one was considering this dude as like could possibly be Adam Warlock.
Nope, never.
And it was just like
never.
Bam, here, and everyone was like, "Wait a minute,
never would cross
hold
my
up,
mind.
Him?" And James Gunn's like, "Yeah, him."
But if you think about James Gunn, it makes total sense.
Oh yeah, no, dude. Like I'm 100% okay with it. Like I'll have to see how he looks, of course, but like he's a good actor, so I'm not mad. It's just like it's just not the obvious choice you would go with.
Exactly.
Like, I'm 100% okay with it. Like, fucking let him do what he wants to do. Let him shine. Let him like prove his worth. Let him be in the MCU. Let's get more actors that we know in the MCU. But it's just such a weird choice.
Yeah, I definitely think it's weird too.
I'm so excited to see what he does because it's like it's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a wacky fucking franchise anyway.
Here's my hope.
Let
it
be weird.
I'm hoping that like he's not like some weird like goofy person because
it needs to be a serious thing. Like if Adam Warlock's gonna be the villain, which I'm hoping he is after the build of Guardians 2.
Right.
But if he is the villain, let him be menacing. Let him be terrifying. Let his god, like he's supposed to be a god essentially. Let him beat the shit out of everybody.
And another reason I want to say that is because Adam, not Adam Warlock, but like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 kind of leaned a little bit more into the comedic elements. And I feel like that didn't work for the film.
The more I watch it, the more I like it. It started off where I watched it and I was like, wow, this sucked. And then the more I watch it, I just grow to like it a little bit more every time.
I like when films do that.
And I'm just like, no, I'm okay with this movie. It's actually pretty high on my MCU ratings. Jada hates that because it's in her like bottom 3. And then I'm over here like, it's in my top like 12. Like,
top 12, wow.
It's in the top 50%. So I don't know. Like every time I watch it, it moves a little higher.
So, this next one is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited for this. Scream 5. The trailer for it came out. Or the new Scream film.
This looks so goofy and fun, and I'm so excited for just some good slasher, man. Like, Scream has never been one of those, like, serious horror movie franchises, ever. Like, it was made to make fun of other horror movie franchises. Like, that was the purpose behind Scream being made.
Right.
So, like, the trailer shows like this girl with like her smartphone, and she's like, doors unlocked, doors locked, doors unlocked, doors locked. And I was like, no, this is perfect. This is fucking Scream. I love this. Like,
yeah, like somebody else is just fucking with the locks.
That's literally like, no, like if you're like going after like teenage girls in fucking like modern day, you're gonna fuck with them like that because they don't like, they're like, oh, I'm protected, and you're like, ha, psych. And then they're like, oh god, lock it.
And she keeps looking at the front door as if he's going to come from there.
It keeps unlocking. It's like, you are the dumbest kid in history, but it fits so well with the ties because, like, old school horror movies, they just fucking ran.
Yeah.
You didn't have as much technology. Now there's technology, and people rely on technology. So see a girl be like, "Oh, the door's locked. I'm safe. Unlock. Oh shit!" And she doesn't run. She just sits there and keeps pressing her fucking phone. I was like, perfect fucking satire. I love it. I don't like the trailer. Looks goofy. It looks campy. It looks like it looks Scream. It looks like Scream. I love it. I'm so excited for this movie. I've been excited since they announced it. Like I'm just like now I've seen trailers. Now I've seen people like actually do stuff, and I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for this too. It looks like a load of fun.
It's got like a bunch of the original cast in it.
Courtney Cox.
Oh, I'm so excited. It looks so dumb, but it's so much. It looks like so much fun. Like how Halloween went the serious route.
Right.
This movie's just like, nah, man. We're Scream. We're gonna be goofy.
Exactly.
Love it.
It looks like they're going back to what they did originally.
Dude, I love it so much. It's my shit.
Speaking of stupid trailers that are stupid movies that look stupid, but still probably gonna love it. We have Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. The new trailer for that film came out.
So what's really funny is my dad's girlfriend is obsessed with the Resident Evil series. Like she loves the movies, and when I told her about this movie coming out, she was like, "Is Alice gonna be in it?" I was like, "No, Alice was made for the movies. This is a video game movie. Like it's based on the video game." And she's like, "It's gonna suck," and just walked away.
You're like, yes, it's gonna suck, but
it looks so dumb, but it looks so funny and like goofy and like
honestly,
it looks like it's trying to be so serious.
Yeah,
but it's not. And I think people watching the trailer know, like they notice. They're like, "Oh no, they're trying too hard," but they're like.
It makes it funny. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh no, like this is not gonna like this story is gonna be like horrible. The acting is gonna be like nah.
Dude,
but
the
like
CGI itself, I was looking at the CGI and I was like, oh no, this is worse than Monster Hunter. Like you gotta be kidding me.
Oh no, not Monster Hunter.
But I was like, it still looks like it's like I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix movie.
No, it's an exclusive to theaters.
I know, that's what's confusing me because I feel like they're making a Netflix TV show and then they just decided they're making a movie.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but I know this one it said exclusively to
I know,
theaters.
because that's what blew me. That's what kind of like confused me because I was like, I know Resident Evil got bought by Netflix, like they were making a TV show.
Maybe it's made by Netflix.
I don't know. I'm gonna check because like if it is, I'm just like, bravo Netflix, bravo. I mean, no, it's Sony. It's Sony. Sony is making what?
I just love you're so confused.
It looks so bad. It looks like it's gonna be so much fun. Like, well, I'm gonna go in there. Like it's not like a movie where you're gonna go in expecting to see a good movie.
No, you're
going in expecting it to be terrible, and you're gonna be having a fucking time of your life.
That's exactly how it's gonna work.
It's not gonna like when we went and saw Monster Hunter, we knew it was bad within the first 5 minutes, and our entire expectations just fucking sank. We're like, it's gonna be a bad movie, but we're gonna enjoy it. Yeah, and we had so much fun in it.
We did, yeah.
That's exactly what this is gonna be, but we're going in knowing it's bad.
But here's the issue with that: if we expect it to be horrible and it's worse than horrible, oh no, like that's not.
But since our expectations are so low, it could be really good. Like watch them just surprise us. Watch it be nothing like the trailer, and it's actually like a super solid horror film.
It's like the best horror film of the past decade.
They're like, we all made them think it was gonna be bad. Joke's on you.
You're in a simulation. Dude, no, it's gonna be funny.
It's gonna be such a solid film. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for that one
It's not gonna be a good film, but I'm still so excited.
It'll be a fun one to shit on. So that's the one to do.
It's a palate cleanser.
Exactly. So with that down, we're gonna venture onto some of our new movie watches we've seen throughout the past few weeks here.
And movies are back, boy.
And movies are back. So we got some back-to-back films to talk about here. Let's start off with the what's this guy's name? I don't know, the musical drama it's basically on a Broadway show, Dear Evan Hansen. I'm
gonna let you go first, Mytchel.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So a big problem with this film that a lot of people had, if you are into the sphere of watching Dear Evan Hansen or even know about it, the main character is really old compared to he's supposed to be playing a teenager.
I think I found out why that is though.
Because he plays the character.
He played him in the actual Broadway.
Yeah, he plays in the Broadway, exactly. Ben Platt, that's his name. So he's like, I don't know, he's like
28.
28. Oh, he looks 28, so he kind of looks his age, starting to look his age. And they had to do a lot of makeup on him. People were mad that he was playing him because it felt like he was too old. I did not see that at all. That was like least of my problems in this film. My problem with this film is that they're dealing with heavy themes of like suicide, depression,
and they ruin every single moment with a song that is terrible.
Exactly. Like, I mean, the songs themselves, like, if you just take out the songs themselves, like, they're not that, but the songs aren't that bad, I don't think.
They're not bad. They just, like, because the movie is such, like, a serious topic,
right?
The songs become horrible because, like, you're in, like, this, like, drama mood, and then they just burst out singing and, like...
You know what, here's the issue. Okay,
it's like, we're all in this together.
Right, exactly.
Like,
but,
like,
if that was the...
Stop.
Because if you're looking at a film like La La Land, where the music flows with the way the movie, this did not feel like that. It feels like...
It's jarring.
Well, if you think about, if I'm starting to think about this and applying it to other musicals, or I'll just use La La Land as an example. That felt very much like it was part of the film. This felt more like they were making the film, and the film was really good, and then they would stop and have a musical Broadway, or they would have a musical like playing out on a stage, right there on screen, and that's what Ben Platt was doing. Is he was singing as if he was on the Broadway. And I don't think that was a good thing for the film. It didn't feel natural.
It's almost as if they didn't make it a musical, it would have been such a better movie.
I do think, and I've started thinking about this a little bit more, and I do think you could have made it a musical, but I feel like if you used a different actor,
it might have flowed better.
It might have flowed better because he's used to doing it Broadway, and that's the only way he's sung it before, so it doesn't feel natural to the story.
It feels forced.
Exactly, it felt forced.
They wedged the shit in. And it's super distracting too. And this movie, like, it's not an overly long movie, but it felt like it took forever.
Exactly.
Because the plot is so simple.
It's like the plot stops
and the
for them to sing.
Good. Yeah, and then you add 40 minutes of singing into it, and it's just fucking slow.
That's where the issue is. Down. The plot stops for them to sing. Because we already understand what the issue is before they start singing about it.
And the singing adds nothing to the story.
Exactly. But if you think about it in La La Land, as they're singing, the story is continuing.
They're singing their emotions. They're singing what they're feeling. They're singing about what their plans are, their dreams, their hopes.
I never thought I'd be using La La Land as a great example because I don't even know.
I fucking love La La Land.
I need to watch it again. I only watched it the once, and I watched it with my
little sister because she's a huge fan of musicals. She wanted me to take her to see this, and since we saw it beforehand, she was so mad because she's like, "I want to see it," and I was like, No, it sucks. I'm not gonna go see it again. But we watched La La Land together because she wanted to see that, and like the ending, like I was like, it's a musical. I was like, okay, whatever. But the ending was so solid for me that it just elevated the whole movie up because I was like,
I need to watch it again.
Subverting expectations. Holy shit! Like
exactly.
Woo.
So yeah, so Bryce, overall thoughts of Dear Evan Hansen?
I want to see this. Like, I'm not gonna watch this again. I'm not gonna add it. Like, I'm not even gonna add to my film collection. And I'm adding Old, and I walked out of that movie.
Wow, that's a low burn, guys. You don't know Bryce, but just knowing Bryce, that's like he'll add the most horrible films to his collection. So knowing that he won't even add this on his collection, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm never ever gonna add this to my collection. Like, there's no, it's not gonna get that right. Like, maybe if I saw it for $5, and it was like. Yeah, $5. If it was $5, I'd pay for it, but there's no way I'd pay over.
Someone gave it to you, and you're like, oh, really? Like,
I mean, I've had films given me. I have both Magic Mikes given to me like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So like,
I immediately look over it too.
Yeah, I got it as a Christmas present. Like, if someone will gift me this, fuck, yeah, sure, it'll go in the collection. But I'm not gonna spend more than $5 on it.
Right? No, I understand that. I wouldn't even spend $5 on this film. To be honest, like that, my ticket was enough. It would literally
be $5. Like, I bought cats. I own cats.
I
paid $25 for Cats. I wouldn't spend $25 on Dear Evan Hansen. Like, that's the level. And Cats is horrible.
Yeah. Well, exactly. My overall thoughts with Dear Evan Hansen, not really worth a watch. I mean, I guess if you're a big fan of the musical, you might enjoy this.
No, they even don't like it.
I know, but I'm saying, at least you might have some advantage to like it. Otherwise, it's not really a great musical.
I never thought I'd have to use like my ownership of cats as like a reason. Like, I own cats. I won't buy this, but I own cats. Like,
I don't even know how the express how bad that means this movie is for you.
The problem is I've seen Cats twice. Like, I've willingly watched that movie twice, and I will never watch this one past this one time because Cats is so bad. It's funny. This is just bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's a difference. Like, if it's a bad movie, but it's funny, that's like the movie you put on when you just want to have a fun time with your friends and make fun of a movie.
That's fair.
But this is like that movie.
Let me
like
reel back a little bit and say that, like, the story-wise of Dear Evan Hansen, I really love.
Solid.
If it was just a drama without the music, it would have been so good.
It would have elevated it so much. Like if you want to watch this, wait till it's on home media, streaming or whatever, and just skip through all the songs. You will not miss a thing. Nothing happens in the songs. They just show back up right where the song fucking started.
It does.
You skip every single song. You will not miss anything.
I really do think that.
Except there's that one song where he's on the stage. That's like a speech. I would say that one's important.
But yeah, and that one actually worked because I felt like it was part of the story.
That one was good. So like I would wait one song out of a whole movie that's worth watching. Also, it starts off and you would not guess it's a musical because it takes like 10 minutes before the first song starts.
Honestly, and my issue is they barely even marketed this as a musical in the first place.
Yeah, no, we didn't know it was a musical. I didn't know it was a musical until like a week before we went and saw it. You didn't know until like.
Right, because they didn't start marketing the musical part of it until
I didn't know until my older sister told me it was a musical.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she was like, "Are you going to see that Dear Evan Hansen movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, it looks like a good drama." And she's like, "It's a Broadway musical." And I was like,
"This reminded me of before I knew it was a musical. This had very much like Words on Bathroom Walls vibes."
Yeah, that's why like this drama wise, fucking good. But musical wise, it fell flat.
So disappointing. But another film that I wouldn't say is disappointing, but was like we went cross-eyed trying to figure out what the hell we just watched. Is a new French film. It was a horror thriller film called TITANE.
3 movies in one, boy.
Yo. And honestly, if they just chose one of those movies, or even one or two of those,
if they chose the first movie that was like the first genre they portrayed, and just kept that one genre going, would have been so good.
I even think if they chose the last one, and well, okay, let's look at this. Let's dissect this real quick. So we had 3 genres. We had one that was
we had a horror slasher,
right?
We had body horror.
Okay.
And then we had suspense drama.
Sure.
Right? Like, what is that what you would say?
I don't know. Where would you put the sexual stuff in that? Or would that just like kind of be like just like...
I zone out every single time there's something sexual.
That was like the first like...
Yeah, like no, dude, I straight up, like every movie I watch, I zone out everything sexual. Because I just don't care and it adds nothing for me.
No, and I'm not saying that it does, but I'm just saying like...
the whole like body horror element of this movie could have been removed and it would have been fine.
I don't even know what the body horror was, though. I don't even...
She had sex with a car. She got impregnated by a car. Her skin was
is that what body horror is?
It's like... Body horror is like stuff that affects the human's like body. Like, you know, like Saw would be considered body horror.
Like the... Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I see that.
And then like this one, like, because she's... You know, she has the silver...
Right. And like, okay, I could see that point. Right.
Like, she has all the blood on her. Like, it's traumatic like, things to bodies.
Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, because like the initial part of this film, I want to say even for the first like 30 minutes, it was almost like a slasher horror film,
and it was so good.
Not a horror film, but like a thriller, slasher
thriller, dude. It was so good too, because like there's a scene where she like goes on a rampage, and we were like sitting there just smiling, just for like no reason, just like holy shit, this is so fucking whack, like this is great.
And I was so hyped.
Like, immediately slows down into a different genre.
It was weird. It was like, yeah, exactly. It was like you like went on a roller coaster, and then like
you were doing the ascent, and then you would hit the downside, and then it would be a slow ascent again.
No. No, this is how it felt for me. It was like instead of like, you know how on normal like roller coasters you're just clicking up, you know, waiting to get to the top. Now this is one is like you thrust off like immediately, and then once it gets to the top, it's just like a flat plane.
I love that. I love that. That's good.
Because that's exactly what it's like. It was like, oh, it's like, here we go, and then it just like blasts off, and then once you get to the top, it's like, and then it just like
you coasts.
It just coasts for like forever.
And every once in a while, you have like a little dip. Pop.
Yep, exactly. And then it just like gradually goes back down to the start. Like, and honestly, you don't even go back to the start. You just go back to you get off at somewhere else.
Yeah, you get off at somewhere else, and they had to bring the fucking roller coaster back around.
Exactly.
They have a whole nother track laid out, but they just like you don't go on it. You just get off halfway through, and they're like, "Now we'll finish the story."
So let's take you through a little bit of what happened in this film. Not a whole. We won't try to go through everything, but just basically. There's this major like scene at the beginning where she like burns her family's house down. There's a lot of things.
She kills she's like a serial killer. She's like serial killing people, kills her family, and then she goes on the run.
And then before that, she has sex with a car and gets impregnated by a car,
which is like the most random motherfucking thing in this movie. Like it. Like, I knew about that going in. Like, I know you did. That shit was so funny because I knew about it. And I looked over and you're like, you had this look like, what the fuck? And I was like, did you not know anything about this? He's like, no. And I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, no, this is like she gets impregnated by a car. And you were like, what?
I had no idea.
And then like, because my wife was with us, and I was sitting in between both Mytchel and my wife, and like I kept looking at them because like this wasn't very shocking to me. Like shit, like there was the serial killers things where she was doing. I was like, oh shit, that's brutal. But there's stuff going on where I would look at one of them and look at the other, and they'd be doing the exact same thing, and I was like, am I missing something? Like, is what's fucking going on?
You know, I think you know how excited I was for like the beginning of this film is that I feel like I think I grabbed you at one point because I was like, I don't normally do that, but like I feel like something was happening. Like she was stabbing people, and then there was one point where she slammed some chair.
She puts a chair leg into some dude's mouth and fucking slams on it to break it into his mouth.
And I was like, yo! I was like, is this what we're getting into? I'm so hyped. Like,
and then the plot then it plays out. You're just like, what the fuck is
so
this?
like you said, she goes on the run, and then she sees a poster of a kid like that was kidnapped or missing, and then
it's a little boy.
It's a little boy, but like then it shows what they would look like aged up, and she's like, oh, I could look like that, and so she goes in the bathroom
And breaks her fucking nose
and punches herself in the face a few times,
cuts her hair,
and then puts a black hoodie on
and wraps her fucking like body up.
Wraps her body
and then
up with
pretends
like
to
wraps
be this fucking boy
for the rest of the film, and that's like an hour of the movie.
And dude, it's
an hour and 20 minutes.
I kept being like, "Are we gonna get away from this? Like, are you gonna go do something?" And then she just stayed, and I was like, "She got away at one point. Remember?
She did, and then she came back.
And I was like, "Why? Like,
I know.
Like, do you feel bad for this man that just took, like basically made you a prisoner in a firehouse?
It was horrible."
And like,
actually, no. See, and my issue is that part of the film wasn't even bad. It was just like it was so opposite from what we got in the beginning.
Yeah, like it's
that I was like,
it's two different genres already.
If they would have chosen one of those films to make, I would have liked either of those films.
And don't forget, she's still impregnated by the car. So during this time where she's hiding, pretending to be the boy, she's pregnant and getting like a bigger belly and shit.
And then at the end of the film, you know, like of course, I mean, I won't spoil what happens, but I mean, she's impregnated by a car, and it constantly getting bigger. You can just imagine what happens when you get impregnated, and you have to have.
It's so fucking weird.
And I'm just like, and with what happens with that baby, I'm just like, I don't even understand why this is even happening. Like this has no point to the story.
So much promise at the beginning.
I know.
It was so good. You had like this avenging, strong female lead,
and then it just devolved.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you're gonna make her pretend to be a boy the whole fucking movie? Really? Like this was so good at the beginning, and now it's this, and it just felt like such like a letdown from what we originally got.
It could have been so cool.
And you know, it's not even that I hate the movie. Like I think I gave it 3.5 or 3, something like that.
Yeah, no, exactly, because because each part of the film was like actually good,
but it just feels so disconnected.
Yep,
that exactly. It gets infuriating. Like I watched this director's first movie, Raw.
Oh yes, I love Raw.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, did you not see my review for it? I just watched it the other day.
I didn't know that.
It was on Netflix, and I watched it.
Dude, that movie's solid though.
I love Raw, dude. I was like. I was like watch it because I watched it and I was like I think I liked it more than TITANE, but I was just like this is a solid film.
Yeah, no, dude, that movie's weird, good. It's whack. Like
it reminded me of like if the Edward the Cullens didn't exist, and this is real life.
It was so good. And then when like this is her sequel film, like her sophomore film or whatever.
Yeah.
And it feels like a totally different person made this movie, other than being in French.
That being said, though, I'm still excited for this director.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like,
I want to see what she has to do.
Whatever she puts out, I'm gonna go watch because like she knows her stuff. Also, here's a fun fact about her: her dad's a doctor.
Oh wow!
So like, whenever someone dies or something, she always asks him how long it would take.
That's cool.
And he like in Raw, I think it was like suffocating, right? When like they were killing someone with a pillow.
Yeah.
She asked her dad how long that would take, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, about this much," and that's actually how much time it takes in the movie for that person to die.
That's cool.
So like, she's like medical wise, she's got her shit covered because her dad's just like, "Yeah, no, if you do that, it's gonna take him like 8 minutes to die." And she's like, "All right, cool." So you see that shit on screen for like 8 minutes.
That's cool.
Like, use your resources, man. Like,
exactly. I feel like a lot of directors and producers and writers don't do that.
Oh no, that's like the best part. But yeah, TITANE was weird. I'm gonna buy it. Like, I'm not even ashamed. I'll buy this one. I'll watch this one. It's not gonna be like an once a year watch or every 2 years, but it's like one of those movies where like if I get a friend and they're like, "I want to watch something fucking weird," I'm like,
yeah,
I got you.
If I was like to recommend, like if maybe like she came out with something more popular later, and it's, you know, this is something I'd revisit to be able to like just to be like, oh, this is part of her like what she made.
Yeah, no, she's a solid director, and this was an okay movie. I just wish they would have picked one
direction to go
stick
in.
With.
Yeah. So I also saw the new Netflix film, The Guilty, that stars Jake Gyllenhaal. So
yeah, I have no interest in this movie. Like I didn't know it was coming out.
Me either.
I just saw like it started trending on Letterboxd, and I was like, all right.
there's a few reasons I watched this. I mean, it's October, so I'm just kind of like trying to stick to like the horror thriller genre. I'm trying my best to stick to that as best I can, and so this looked like it was in that vein. You know, you have the thriller of it. I expected this to be a different movie. So it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, and that was also another reason I wanted to watch it was because, well, really the only thing I know Jake Gyllenhaal from is Homecoming or not Homecoming, Far From Home, Spider-Man. I know he's been in a lot of other stuff, but
I always confuse him with Ryan Gosling.
I used to do that too.
It's because they both have beards and like the short hair. They just look very similar, but they're not the same person.
No, you know who I accidentally confused him with was John Krasinski at one point. I don't know why, but anyways.
No, that makes sense. I accept that.
Yeah. So the Guilty.
He was in Zodiac. We watched that.
Oh yeah. So the Guilty. It's about a he's basically a cop that was basically he had to step down because he did something wrong. You don't really know what happened, but now he's on 911 duty or emergency duty. So he has to basically take 911 calls and help people. And there's this lady that calls him, says she was like kidnapped, or whatever, and she needs help. Or basically the call comes in and she pretends she's calling her kid. And so he basically goes on this entire like manhunt, calling everybody he can and basically telling people to do things so that way he can get this woman helped. And then there's a few twists and turns that happens that I won't really reveal because it actually is pretty shocking once it happens and interesting. And then near the end of the film, you find out why he was demoted. And then you're just like, oh shit. And you find out like kind of like what his friend is. See, the interesting thing about this movie though is he never leaves the office.
It's all just in one room.
He's the point of view of this film. You basically hear the movie through him operating the telephone.
Oh, that's weird. I like that though.
And that's why I really like this film. Not just because I was expecting like a film where he's going out and actually saving this woman, you know, and he's going out and like because he hears this 911 call and he's like, oh, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna save her myself. I don't care about the 911 thing anymore because he's like a cop, right? But no. He doesn't go and do that. He actually stays there and he does everything within his power and he keeps calling everything and you hear the entire film basically through these phone calls he makes with other people.
That's so weird. I love that though.
And it is very interesting in the way it turns out and the calls you hear. And honestly, like I did start like near the end of the film, I was feeling like I was like, oh God, I almost like this hurts. And then even like the resolution and when you find out why he got demoted and then you know him taking responsibility for things. It really is kind of like heartfelt, and it shows like how great of an actor Jake Gyllenhaal is.
You know, Jake Gyllenhaal's an amazing actor.
So
that sounds cool though. I'd probably watch that.
I mean, honestly, I think it's only like an hour and a half. So I mean, it's really
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's a short film, but it's really fun to watch. I'd definitely recommend it. Like out of the Netflix films that have come out, and like how some of them have been pretty bad, I think this one is worth watching.
You know, it sounds interesting. I like movies where they're just like one room. But I know he's probably like. Do you see anything else going on in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, so he's in the one room, and then there's like four other characters. You
so
actually
he only interacts with them through the phone.
Yeah, but you don't see any of the other characters. Like you only ever see the him in the call center room. You never see anything else that goes on in the film.
Okay.
So your only interaction with the outside of world is with him talking to people on the phone, and then of course you have his like coworkers in the office and his boss in the office. But they mostly leave him alone for the most part. And honestly, there's some funny part. It's kind of funny. There's certain types of scenes that are funny, and he talks to people weird. But there's a lot of. It's really good.
It sounds interesting.
It's different. I've never seen a film like it. But speaking of, I wouldn't say. Well, I have seen a film like this. Venom: Let There Be Carnage, Sony's new Marvel film, sequel to Venom, has come out.
We're just gonna skip My Thing of Lamb.
Oh, I'll jump onto the next. Sorry, my apologies.
Okay.
So
I was just like, that one's weird too. No,
I actually created two lists, so that's why. We'll get to the next one. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Let There Be Carnage. So Bryce, what did you think of Venom, Let There Be Carnage?
Okay, so this is a mixed bag. I enjoyed it, but I hated it. Like it's one of those movies where like. It's hard to like really hate because it moves so fast. You see like a bunch of like things are always happening, but I feel like they could have done so much more. And some characters feel like utterly useless.
Let me ask you a question before we dive into this. Would you prefer a film that's too short and it feels like they needed to add more scenes, or do you prefer a film that's a little bit longer that they could have took stuff out of?
So I like short films because I can watch more movies if they're short films.
Okay.
But I like long films because if they're like a good film, I can get over some unneeded scenes. But they still bother me. So like neither one is like a good thing.
So I'm thinking about this, right? Because I'm like, because this is my issue with Venom, was that I feel like it was too short. I feel like they could have added more, like at least 15 to 20 more minutes to really flesh this film out.
I need to see Venom and Carnage fight more than one time.
That I feel like they could have fought more than one time. I also feel like the relationship between Eddie and Eddie and Venom could have been a little bit better. I feel like I feel like they did like the classic like we're breaking up thing, and
That's fair. I'll give you that.
And I feel like I didn't get, because like I definitely like enjoyed that part of it, but I feel like that alone was disappointing to only be able to see that.
You know, I feel like they could have used Shriek more because her superpower is fucking.
Don't even get me started about Shriek.
Dude,
I'm so mad how they used her.
Her superpower kills fucking Venom, like symbiotes. Why would you not utilize her more?
I know they basically like said stop that, don't do it, and then she just like didn't ever use it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's stupid.
Honestly, there was no reason for her character to even be in this film if they weren't going to utilize her the way they could have.
Fuck, what's her name? Anne or whatever.
Again, another character that they released it kind of.
Yeah, they're like, why? The Doctor got like a cameo. I'm gonna say it's a cameo because it's really not a role; it's a cameo.
Yeah, it really felt like it. Yeah,
he's barely in it, even though he does something like he's barely in it.
And see,
I just really like. I think it would have been better if Venom and Eddie weren't having like their fucking.
I know, because
relationship issues, and they were like focusing on trying to find Carnage,
right?
And Carnage and like they were fighting more, like they'd have more interactions, and like Venom would get beat down and like. Be like, I can't beat him, or have
that would be cool.
Some like internal conflict, like yo, this will red one, like I can't fucking beat him but there's literally no conflict throughout an hour of this movie.
Exactly, and you know, I think the whole idea from the beginning is because
things are always happening,
right?
But there's no conflict, like
not really.
Like,
no,
an hour into this movie, they finally start the fight, and you're like, we're almost done, and you just are now getting into a fight,
right? Exactly.
Like I don't see Venom going into the streets hunting people down. I don't see Eddie doing anything but being like, "Fuck you, Venom."
I'm gonna name a few things that could have happened, right? So I mean, you have in the first film, you had Venom, and there was fights between them, but you also got a lot of interaction between them being friends, and I feel like they should have doubled down on them being friends and like being more of like a symbiote relationship together rather than fighting.
That's how
a lot.
they're supposed to be,
right?
They're symbiotic. It's in the name.
That was something they were supposed to do in the beginning. Like, I thought that's kind of the relationship they established in the first one. So if you're only going to give us an hour and a half, you should have started that. Or if they were going to go into the other way that they were saying, right, that he wanted to go to about them breaking up because because Venom wasn't eating people, then actually have Venom eating people. Because even when he got out of his, I'm going to spoil just a tiny bit here, not too much, but when Eddie and Venom separated,
he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't eat anybody.
He goes to a party.
I was fully expecting him to start eating people because he's on his own, and he didn't. He just goes to a party and just walks around, and then basically comes back at some point.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that. Although I will say the way they handled like Carnage for a PG-13 movie, not bad.
I do, and
he's very menacing for a PG-13 movie. Like
he was.
I would have liked to see more.
Me too.
But at the same time, I was like, yeah, for what we got, like I'm not angry at it. Like Carnage is still pretty fucking scary.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
For a PG-13 movie, when I got put out there, if it was rated R, it could have been so much better. But that was with the original Venom too. Like you had that rated R rating. If Sony was just brave enough to be like, let's make a rated R Marvel movie, the shit they could do with these Spider-Man villains,
right,
would be so good.
I agree.
Like, God, like Carnage, just massacring people and like full blood and gore.
Because
and, like,
my
that's
issue
what
with
he is
like this was very much PG-13 because you could just like, okay, they're throwing people around, you know, they're not actually killing anybody. There's a few scenes where you see people like, you know, doing a few things,
quote unquote,
but they did the best they could for a PG-13, which is fine. I really do think that this could have been rated R, but I know why they didn't. It's fine.
I get it. It's just frustrating because it's like you had so much opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony's just so scared to
now,
make a superhero movie rated R.
Exactly. Now, setting all the negative things aside, I I mean, I did end up enjoying this film, even though
I had fun. Like I didn't hate
Yeah.
it, but it's just like I feel like they could have done more.
it felt exactly. It felt very lean. Like it felt way too
Simple,
lean.
safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they didn't take risk. They were
Like,
just like.
They just made a sequel. They just made a sequel like that they know would work.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't try anything new.
I will say that the post-credit scene, I feel like they're building some risk up with that because I don't know how I feel.
It's
about
the most
seeing
important part of this entire film. You know, like
I
that's
don't
the only thing
know
that
how I
matters.
feel about a grown man doing what he's about to do. Like,
So we're gonna talk about the post-credit scene to Venom. So if you haven't seen Venom, just go ahead and skip ahead for like a minute or two here.
can you see Tom Hardy beat up Tom Holland?
Yes.
Tom Holland, like Peter Parker's supposed to be a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, and you're gonna send a grown man in his 30s to be Venom to beat the shit out of fucking Tom
I can
Holland.
confidently say with the Spider-Man we have currently, I feel like Venom would beat the shit out of him.
Oh, 100%, dude. What would Peter Parker do? He'd be like sitting there like, all right, we guys, come on, Peter Tingle. And then he looked up and Venom would be standing like 7 feet tall and be like, "Pah!" Just fucking slap him across the goddamn
Honestly,
street.
this is honestly, I'm kind of hoping that happens in Spider-Man No Way. And not we're talking about that, but I just want to say I'm kind of hoping that, not specifically with Venom,
want to see,
but I hope Spider-Man in No Way Home really just gets the shit beat out of him.
it's horrible, isn't it? Like, we're like, that's Doc Ock from Sam Raimi. I want to
better
see him
die.
beat the shit out of you.
Not die.
Or like
But,
Green Goblin, I'm like, your villains have nothing on these guys. Like, these guys gonna beat the shit out of you.
Like I feel like if Tobey Maguire,
He's gotten all the safe villains so far. He's like, I'm a good superhero, and you're like, you've had a flying dude in a fucking wings.
Tobey Maguire
that you
would have
can
like
web up the fucking vans
know.
of, and you've had a dude with illusions. You have had nothing.
Tobey Maguire,
nothing.
and I would even put it to Andrew Garfield. Both of them, I mean, would have like destroyed the first two villains.
He got the shit beat out of him by a Thanos army. Goons beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that he's going to go up against Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Venom? Like, get the fuck over yourself. And then Lizard,
dude.
Sandman. Like, he's going to get the shit kicked out of him.
Tom Holland needs like 20 years to really that level.
Like, Tobey Maguire, he got Green Goblin off the bat. He had to grow up fast.
Bro, he did.
Andrew Garfield, Lizard. Like, that dude, like, that's intimidating. Even not that good, but, like, he almost killed all of New York with Lizard fucking toxins. Tom Holland had a dude trying to rob Tony Stark.
Yeah, that ain't that bad. And honestly, he wasn't even doing anything that horrible. If you think about it.
Like, oh, I'm not gonna let you rob Mr. Stark. I can't let you do that. And you're like, who's he hurting? Like, he's selling weapons to goons. They're getting caught on the streets. Like, all right, I get they're bad weapons, they're Shatari weapons, but like, he's not killing anybody that you know.
If you think about this, for the No Way Home, he's really going into something he has never been into before. Because Mysterio,
didn't even try to kill him. He just tried to take the glasses and be like, leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah, exactly. Because he just wanted to be a hero. He basically just wanted to be a celebrity. Is what.
Yeah, that's his whole. He was just like, I just want to pretend.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's like, what? And then he goes to tries to fight him, and the Mysterio kicks the shit out of him with fucking drones. Are you trying to tell that boy didn't even use spider sense till the last act of that movie?
With Tom Holland, Spider-Man couldn't do shit right now. Like I know he'll become a great Spider-Man, but right now,
I love Tom Holland Spider-Man. I just can't. He's not on the same level as Garfield Maguire. Like, the fact that like they were just like first movies they were in. But
you know why that is?
Save the fucking world.
And I see this is because they're letting Tom Holland grow and they're giving him time to be in high school,
which is good. Something that needed to be done, but it's still comical when you think of Venom.
I mean, I could talk about Spider-Man forever, but I want to mention one thing I noticed in Far From Home, and that what I didn't like is I'm just like, he has spider sense. Why the hell is because the whole thing is, come on, Peter Tingle. I'm so confused. And I was like, you know what? Oh, I get it. Like he's developing these spider powers as he goes. He didn't get them all at once like the rest of the guys did. I was like, that's really cool. I like that.
Okay, that makes sense. I just let him read Carnage's post-credit scene where they like.
I just get the shit beat out of my Venom.
Like Eddie Brock's not a bad guy, but I could see Venom just being like, "Fuck you, punk!"
Kill him. And it's like, no, we can't kill him.
I want to see a movie where Venom just like tells Eddie in his head, he's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving you for Peter," and Eddie's like, "Wait, what?"
He's strong.
It's like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, there's something about him. I just feel like he'd be better. And Eddie's like, "We've been through so much. I'm not even in my same world anymore." And Venom's like, "I don't know, sucks to suck, bro.
You're a bitch, Brock.
That guy took out Green Goblin, fucking Lizard, Electro. Like, I'm gonna go with him. You've taken out like Riot. like you didn't even really do. I did all the work.
I did all the work.
And then I did all the work for Carnage. You haven't done nothing. I'm gonna go with him.
He's gonna feed me.
I don't know, man. Let There Be Carnage is stupid, but it's fun. Like it's a fun, simple.
You know what I find though?
film.
What I find weird about Venom versus for the symbiote when it attaches to Spidey, it becomes Spider-Man because it becomes a black suit and it doesn't become Venom. Isn't that weird?
I don't know how they're gonna handle that. If they're gonna handle.
No,
that.
but I just think about that though, like you know, like no, but I'm just saying if you think about any Venom in general,
I know what you're thinking of. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I really want.
I wonder if it's because he has more like power. He has more like of because you know Eddie's a human versus Spider-Man who's more like I wouldn't say what is he like not I don't know.
I want to call him mutant, but
no, he's not mutant
like,
because
he's mutated.
Yeah, he's mutated exactly because like his DNA is mutated after the fact. So like he's maybe stronger, so he can resist it more than other people can.
I don't know. It's weird. That's something we're going to have to see as the time goes on.
Well, I'm just thinking about even if you look in the comics. But anyways, we could talk about Spider-Man for days. I could do that forever. So, Venom Let There Be Carnage. Thumbs in the middle for me, I guess.
Yeah, me. I mean, I'm.
But then excited for the future.
I'd be more on like a little above 50%.
Yeah,
because like it's one of those movies that like I'm not gonna watch all the time, but it's something that I feel like if I ever put it on, I'd just have a fun time with it at home.
Well, if I'm gonna watch Venom, I'm gonna watch Venom 2. You know, so it's like.
Oh, dude, it's Lord of the Rings all over again. You can't watch the last one. You have to watch the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. You can't just watch one. You know, like
it's my problem with the MCU in general. I'm like, I can't just jump into like Iron Man 3. I have to watch everything up to Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna watch the MCU, you just kind of watch the MCU.
Yeah, it's rough, especially the more movies they get. Because every new title, I'm like.
That being said, honestly,
2 hours.
I have skipped a few. Like, I will skip a few. Like, I'm not gonna watch Thor 2. I'm not gonna watch.
I'm just excited because what happens is like I have.
Actually, that's probably
as much as I rewatch the MCU, the movies at the beginning I've seen so much that I dread going through them. But the further I get along, I've seen those movies less.
Yeah.
So I'm more excited to watch those because I'll hit like Avengers Endgame. I'm like, I've seen this 4 fucking times. That's so less compared to everything else.
So
except for Doctor Strange, I think I've seen Doctor Strange 3 times.
Speaking of a film that you've seen recently, we've seen a new A24 film called The Lamb.
Just Lamb.
Or just Lamb.
It's just Lamb, and this movie was fucking weird. It's like, first off, it's in Icelandic. Yeah, it's weird.
So it's an international film.
Mm-hmm. And basically, I'm gonna spoil the whole fucking thing. So, because
please do. I don't ever want to see this.
So it starts off with a creature moving around the snow. And horses running away from it. You don't see the creature. You're in the vision of the creature. And he goes up to this barn, opens it up, and there's lambs. And then it cuts away as it's walking away, and the lamb's looking at it.
Makes sense.
Like something happened, and it walked away. And I was like, oh, so it fucked the lamb. All right, cool. That's going to be why it's a human lamb thing. Got it. And then the movie starts, and they're like doing around there. Like it's a lot of just watching them do their daily things. And just like they're running a farm, like it's just you're just watching them run the farm, and then one day they're like helping sheep give birth, and they pull out this fucking human sheep hybrid, and they just wrap it in a blanket and take it inside. They don't say like there's no what the fuck is that? There's no reaction. They just fucking wrap it up and take it inside. And like I was sitting there watching, I was like, well, that's not the reaction I would have, but all right, cool.
What the fuck is this abomination? Get the gun.
So then the movie goes on, and they're raising this fucking lamb thing, and like the mother of the lamb, lamb kid, he's like going outside and being like, rah, rah, like yelling at the fucking window at them. So the mom one day just comes out, grabs a gun, and shoots it, and then buries it in a shallow grave, and just goes back inside as if nothing happened. All while the dad, I want to call him mom and dad. I'm gonna call him mom and dad because I don't know the fucking names.
Sure.
But the dad's brother like shows up and saw the mom kill the sheep, and so he just goes inside, and he wakes up, he's like in the barn, and he comes outside, and his brother's like, oh, you're here, and he's like, yeah, I just left in the barn, I didn't want to bother you guys. And they're like, oh, come and eat breakfast. He goes in, sits down, and there's 3 place settings. He's like, oh, you were expecting someone, and they're like, hey da, and this fucking lamb toddler fucking thing comes in, and he looks at it, he looks at his brother, he's like, what? Like I was like, he had the most honest reaction of everything. He was just like, he was looking at him and he looked away, and he didn't sit there and go, what the fuck is that? He waited, took his brother away, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And his brother's like, happiness, and just walks away. And I was like, what?
Bro, I can't. I hate that so much.
And so like the brother keeps like talking to him like, yo, like that thing's a fucking monster. You gotta get rid of that. Like, shoot it in the fucking head or something. And they're just like, no, it's our daughter. We can't do that.
But how do they know its gender?
Because it's only the head and an arm. That's lamb. Everything else is a human.
Okay.
And so they fucking go around, and like one day the brother just like gets up when they're sleeping and like brings the fucking lamb out, and he has a gun. And I was like, oh my god, is he gonna shoot the fucking lamb kid? Like, what a fucking plot twist this is. It cuts away, and then like the mom wakes up, is freaking out, and she goes in the living room. The dude's sleeping on the fucking recliner holding the fucking lamb baby, and I was like, what? And they just all grow to like be like around this fucking lamb child that doesn't speak, mind you. It can't speak, so it's just fucking like makes fucking lamb noises and shit.
What is this, man?
And so like they go through this thing where they just all start to bond and shit. Like the brother takes it like fucking fishing and like just talking to it about like, oh yeah, your dad and I used to go like fishing all the time. And like they don't question this shit, man. Like the only one that questions was the brother, and he grows attached to the fucking thing. And so one day the fucking like, God, I'm like, the mom like is getting rid of the dude because the brother's trying to get with her. And so she's like, you gotta fucking leave. So she goes, drops him off. And while that's happening, the dad wakes up and is like, where the fuck's my wife? So he's like, oh, I don't know. Let's go fix the tractor because it broke down. And then he takes the fucking lamb child to go fix the tractor. Well, he can't fix the tractor. So they're like heading back. And then it cuts like a gunshot. Like the mom comes back and then it's like, here's a gunshot. And she runs and the dad's like, got fucking shot. And you see the dad, like the real dad of the fucking lamb creature. It's like fucking like, you see its dongness hanging in the back because it's walking away and flapping around. It just fucking takes the lambkin and starts walking the fuck away with it. Which I'm like, okay, it's your daughter. Like, I guess that makes sense. Still fucking weird that you're just like roaming the countryside. The mom shows up, sees the dad like dying, and is like, where's Ada? And the dad, like, he's gurgling fucking blood. He got shot in the fucking throat. He's not gonna talk. But she's still trying to get like, where's Ada? Where's Ada? And he dies because, you know, he's shot in the fucking throat. Actually, the creature shot him 3 fucking times. Like, there's no way he was living. And the mom looks around and can't find it, and then she just like, it cuts to black as it looks like she's about to jump off a cliff, and that's the end of the movie. I just saved you an hour and 40 minutes of your life.
Mytchel has signed off his podcast.
It's legitimately one of the weirdest fucking movies I've ever seen. But the thing is, here's the thing: I didn't hate it. Like I left it feeling like it's not good, but it's not bad. They could have done more.
Honestly,
they could have been creepier. I basically spent an hour and a half watching these people live their lives raising a lamb hybrid thing and not questioning it. But that's it. That's all it is. And like, it wasn't terrible, but it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, honestly, when I was watching the trailer, like, I was just like, because you saw kind of like the lamb thing, and I was just like, I wonder if, like, how much of that they're gonna show like the lamb kid, and I was like, okay, so they actually showed like a decent amount. It's like, it doesn't sound horrible, but it also doesn't sound like any. I don't really want to watch.
It doesn't add anything to anything. It didn't like fucking answer any questions of life. It didn't give me like.
What's that one film we watched? With the 2 guys that went to this that went to the thing.
Old Joy.
Old Joy. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
It's like
not that like the same concept, but you know what I'm saying, like the same
I
feeling.
look at A24 movies in a really different light because like sometimes they're
so cool.
really good.
I've seen some A24 films that are amazing,
and sometimes they're just fucking weird.
Isn't like is Good Time an A24 film?
It is,
and that's with Robert Pattinson, right?
Yeah,
that's a good film.
It's not, like they're a hit and miss, but like they like doing weird fucking movies, man. Like.
That's why I don't blame A24. They do things different, and I like.
Well, they're also only a distributor. They don't make the movies.
All right, but they pick up films that are
film rights for it and like.
I was gonna say, they did Lighthouse, Hereditary, Midsommar,
The Witch,
Uncut Gems, Moonlight.
Like they're all over the place. You never know what they're gonna put out.
They did Ex Machina. Ex Machina's great.
Yeah, you have no idea what these motherfuckers are gonna put out, and they put some weird shit out. And this is like number 1. If I was rating all the A24 movies on weirdness, this would be like number 1 or 2. Like, it's fucking weird.
They do The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
That's supposed to be really good. They're releasing a collector's set about that, actually.
I didn't see that.
They also did Krisha that we watched last Thanksgiving.
Gross.
I like that movie.
What did I rate that? Didn't I rate it really low?
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, we were opposite on that film. I think.
Yeah, but no, Lamb was weird. Lamb was weird, but it was still like I was still intrigued and invested. So like I give it props for that. I think I gave it 2.5 stars, maybe 2.
I mean,
because I want to watch it again.
I like the concept, but I feel like they could like if they did a little bit more with it. I think I might like.
If they had embraced horror aspect,
yeah, Exactly.
But instead, like, if the dad was like struggling to accept fucking raising a lamb child, because like they had a kid who died.
Why did I rate this 3.5 stars? Anyway, sorry.
They had a kid who died who was named Ada, so they kind of like I kind of look at it like they thought it was like a gift from God, like here they get a second chance to raise a kid. But like if they just like the mom was just like, no, we're raising the fucking lamb. The dad spent the whole movie going like, I need to fucking get rid of this thing. This thing's a fucking monster. But no, the brother's the only one that was like, shoot it in the fucking head.
Oh, that's why I remember now.
Yeah, no, it was okay. I would not like. I had a person I follow who gave us 4 stars and was like, "You need to watch this in theaters." Yeah, no, you don't.
I think I saw that. And I was like,
"You don't need to watch this in theaters." There's no
you don't need to watch this at all. Just kidding.
Like, I would
honestly
watch it
though,
just for, like,
I think what I need to know is why they had 2 separate beds.
No, they had one bed. They had 2 separate comforters.
2 separate comforters. That's what I need to know.
It was really weird too, because Jade and I like they like were getting out of bed and like the mom like took her blanket off and the dude still had a blanket on the bed and we're like, what the fuck? Like, also, I could not live in Iceland.
Oh wait, 2 separate comforters. I was totally thinking you meant 2 separate beds.
No, dude, I could not live in Iceland. There is no nighttime there.
Because I was googling it and I was like, there were so many articles about comforters, and I was sorry. I just those are beds.
There's no nighttime in Iceland. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
It makes
it's just constant light.
It's constant light.
Is that true?
Yeah. Do you know how hard it would be to fucking live there? I had no passage of time for me. I had no clue. Like, I kept going to bed, and I was like, it looks like it's fucking like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Like, I think I'm tired now.
Yeah, dude. There's the passage of time really fucked with my head because I was like, I couldn't tell when it was like a new day because it was just light all the time.
Wow.
Very, very irritating for me. And I was like, people live in that. People choose to live in an area that is.
Some people are born into it, like the lamb.
Yeah, no, you can fucking leave. I would lose my mind if I was in daylight all the time. I'd be so mad. I'd have blackout everything. I'd be like, I'm making this. They didn't even close their fucking window, like their fucking curtains, dude. They just left them open and just went to bed.
I live in the darkness, so I get where you come from.
I couldn't. I'd die. I'd be tired all the time. I'd be like that. There's a movie called Insomnia, which is based in Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the dude can't sleep because it's light all the time. I would be that dude.
You know,
I would go insane.
I bet it's partly because like. Well, actually, I don't even know. That's weird.
They're like, it's 9 o'clock at night, and you're like looking at the sun. Like, no, it's like fucking 3 in the afternoon. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I would lose my fucking mind. There's no way.
It'd be so good praying people then, because like you just like always.
It made me appreciate Insomnia so much more because I did not like that movie when I watched it, and now I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, no, I'd go fucking insane. I would lose my fucking mind. I'd go crazy. There's no way. Like,
wow. I don't think I've seen it.
You want to watch Lamb now after I told you everything?
No, I want to watch the film that could be though. That sounds cool. Like if they did like a lamb film with like a baby lamb that was half human and half lamb, I think it would be cool.
All right. And we watched one other movie.
We did. I'm so excited to watch. To talk about this one. Sorry. This film is Daniel Craig's last outing as Bond. It's the final run in his in his Bond films, and I really enjoyed this film. It was really cool.
So I'm gonna be honest, I did not like Spectre or Skyfall that much.
I don't remember watching them. I know I've watched them. I watched them once in theaters.
Yeah, I didn't like them, but I really liked this movie. Like, it's super long, but I was invested the entire time.
I think the reason I like this film is because it was the least like a Bond film that I think I remember the other ones being. It's very different than what I thought a Bond film is. Because Bond to me is like honestly, he didn't even feel like Bond in this film. He almost felt like a matured, like he was growing out of his Bond, quote unquote Bond phase, you know? Because when I think about a Bond, I think about a dude who's suave, who doesn't care about like women at all, who basically has no feelings. He's just all about sex and action and you know, in doing his job.
Yeah, no, this one was like, once again, you gotta understand, I'm not a huge Bond fan. I've seen 3 other Bond movies. One of them was Goldfinger, which isn't even Daniel Craig, and Skyfall and Spectre that I only watched because I was trying to complete Watch Mojo's list on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So I was not invested. I did not care. I was doing it to complete a list. Did not have any fucking desire. But when I was watching this, I was like trying to like. I'll give my story. Ready for this?
Sure.
I tried to watch this one other time before I actually watched it.
Oh yeah, you told me this. What happened?
I got to the theater, walked by these dudes, they smelled of booze. And I was like, as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh, these dudes are going to be a problem. Because they were talking so loud during the previews, which I mean, like their previews, it's like not a big deal.
Again, though,
But
even
they're
talking
they're
loud,
basically yelling.
I
And
don't mind
was just like-
talking during previews. When you're talking that loud during previews, like you shouldn't be talking loud at all in your theater, you know.
And then like one dude got up to go somewhere, and I was just like, all right, cool, whatever, fuck it. Movie's about to start. And lights went down. Movie started playing. Got the first shot of like the fucking house on the lake, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. Dude came back in and he had a pizza, and he sat down and started talking to his friend really loud.
Oh no.
And I was like, and then he pulled out his phone and started using his phone's flashlight, and I was like, yeah, I don't like Bond enough for this. I'm gonna go. And so I got up and went and was like, yo, I need a refund, and they just gave me my money back, and I went home.
That's fair.
So I saw the first 5 minutes of this movie, and then I was like, no, look really like. Jada was like, well, what'd you think? I was like, no, first 5 minutes were really fucking good. Like
Exactly. So I want to say just since this is a kind of a new film, if you haven't seen No Time to Die, I wouldn't listen to this segment. And honestly, this kind of is the end of our podcast. So after this film, so if you don't want any spoilers for No Time to Die, we're gonna probably get pretty heavy into that because I really trying to review this film. It does get into spoilers. So
it's okay. By the time this comes out, they'll have had like 2 weeks.
Sure. So that being said, I guess overall, what did you think of the film? And then
I thought his whole love thing with whatever the fuck her name is felt very forced, and I did not feel any real connection.
You didn't?
No, man.
I don't know.
Maybe something happened in Spectre or Skyfall or something.
I don't know who the girl was, but to me, I don't know. I just felt that they had some chemistry that I didn't.
I didn't feel the chemistry. I kind of felt like, to me, it felt like not deserved. Like I didn't feel like, maybe it's because it's like a sequel to something I didn't really watch, but I was like, I don't feel like you guys have this relationship that I feel you deserve to have. So,
oh well, I guess I just took for granted there's stuff I don't realize, and that's kind of like, okay, so I'm not quite versed in whatever their relationship they have, so I just have to assume that they had a relationship beforehand. So I just kind of like let that go a little bit.
It didn't feel very natural to me. And the first fucking like action sequence where he's on the bridge, fucking awesome.
Yes.
So good. And then the time jump, I didn't feel was jarring. I thought the time jump was handled very well.
I never mind when they go like 2 years later. I never mind when they go in the future, or was it 5 years? Whatever. When they go in the future.
If they had done a time jump and then jumped back to the past, I would have lost my shit.
I hate it so much. I hate when they do that.
But the way that's handled the time jump, like he moved on, he was doing fine. I was like, all right, cool. And then he like gets asked to go on the mission. He's like, no, I'm retired. And I was like, stick to your guns, Mr. Bond.
Exactly.
And then like he got petty and did the mission anyway. I was like, all right, cool. I like that.
So
I will say, the female, I can't remember her name. She played Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel. She's the new 007.
I know.
I feel like they could have utilized her more.
There's a lot of things that's honestly one of my big criticisms, and I'm just like, how are they going to introduce a new 007 and not even use her?
Why? Like,
why even do it?
I get it. Like, it's a James Bond movie, but at the same time, like, it's a James Bond movie in 2021. You can utilize females more than just like sexy dresses and as like to bounce things off of. And she's supposed to be like this badass secret agent.
It's a Bond film, right?
Like,
but
she replaced 007, like James Bond. She replaced James Bond, and then I didn't see her do anything I thought was badass.
I know, me neither. I was like, they so underutilized her. I was like, really disappointed because I was super excited to see what she could bring, and they just kind of like let her be a background character.
That's not even the worst part. The worst offense this movie has is that Rami Malek did not get to do more.
I disagree with that. I know a lot of people have that opinion. I disagree.
I love Rami Malek, but I feel like
I thought he was in the film a perfect amount.
It's just because like I didn't find him to be like villainous. Like he's basically just like he's just like, I'm doing my own thing. Like you guys are just fucking irritating me. Like fuck off. And I kind of like I get that, but at the same time I'm like I would have liked to feel a bit more like when he got shot at the end. Other than him being like, you can never touch the woman you like, I would have liked to like feel like you're good, Bond.
Honestly, he kind of right. No, I understand that, and he kind of keeps at least the Rami Malek character. And I know a lot of people like wanted to see him more in it, but I really feel like he played a great part and did what Rami Malek does best: is be creepy without being overbearing.
You know, like he did really good. I personally would have liked to see more of him. Like for what he did in the movie, fucking fantastic, amazing, great villain.
I always bring me more Rami Malek.
Best Bond villain I've seen yet.
Yeah, a lot of people say that he was a weak villain, and I was like, I thought he was a good villain.
He did I haven't seen all the James Bond movies. Though,
that's fair.
I can't compare him to anything but like 2 movies. I can't remember who the villains were. Pretty sure one of them was the dude that he took out in the cell. I don't remember the guy with the one eye. Like I'm pretty sure like He was the villain, the Spectre. I don't remember.
I had to imagine
and
he was
Goldfinger's villain was like campy and fun. Like he was a fun villain, but he wasn't he wasn't what I would consider a villainous villain.
My doo-doo.
And Rami Malek just like he felt creepy. He felt like he could do anything, and I was just like, I love this.
Exactly. He felt like he could do anything he wanted to, but he's just like, I just don't feel like it yet, you know?
And like, I love how like the kids just like bit him, and he's just like, fine, go away.
I love that because the villain never does that. You're just like, if you don't want my protection, leave. And she's just like, okay, and then she leaves.
He didn't even try to stop her. He was just like, all right, keep going. And I was like,
I know, I love that.
I was like, what? Like, all right, cool. Like, I don't know your plan here. I assume you don't have one though, and you're just going with the flow, which I respect. So like, you do.
I know. I was just so into that because like the typical writing thing would just be like, no, get the girl, like bring her, you know. But no, he just was like, all right, just let her go. I don't care.
It's
like,
so funny because legit, like, he does everything a villain normally wouldn't do, and I think that's probably why people don't like him because the average moviegoer is going to be like, there's no one a villain would, but he's just like doing his own thing. Like he's just like, I'm just trying to do what I want to do. Like just go. Like he even told Bond, he's like, you can go with the daughter. Like I will let you leave. Just go the fuck away.
Actually, he did. Well, he said he was going to keep the one.
He was like, I'll keep the girl you love because I love her. But you can take your daughter. You can leave. Like I'm not going to stop you. And Bond's like, no. And he's like, I gave you a fucking chance, man. Like
honestly, I don't see why he wouldn't have done that because he easily could have taken the kid and then come back later.
But it's so funny because the typical Bond, like the cliche is the villain captures him. It's like, here's my evil scheme. Da, 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 da.
And he didn't really, I mean, he did that a little bit.
He just sat there, he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, you can't do anything because these people will shoot you. But like, I will let you leave. Like, I won't try to kill you. Like, you can leave with your daughter. No problem. No issues. Like, you can go. And Bond's just like, no. He's like, oh, fuck, man.
I feel like the smart thing would have been to say yes and then come back. But whatever.
But it's still like, I respect that for Rami Malek's character because it's just so like fucking not what a villain would do. And I feel like if Bond was just like, yeah, all right, I'll take the kid, he would have been like, all right, here you go. Good day. Have a good day. Like, Bond would have been like, that's it. He's like, yeah, man, I'm doing what I'm doing. You go away. Oh, shoot. And I respect that. Yeah. And then like, I will say I haven't had enough experience with Felix's character to like feel the weight of his death, but the way Bond looked at him, I was like, oh no, this is serious now. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, dude, that was horrible.
And the way he killed the American like traitor dude with the car, like the dude's under the car, and he's like, "You'll never win." And
oh my god, that was amazing!
Shut up, bud.
He used the car as leverage just to pull himself up, and then the car fell on him. And I was like, "That was smooth, man. That was smooth."
Dude, I loved that. There was so much about this movie that I just like. I had such a fun time with that. I just like. I don't have that much that I knock against it, other than like underutilization of people. Like they're making a big deal that female in the Costa Rica or whatever.
Ana de Armas.
Yeah, the actors, right? They were like, oh, she's gonna be in Bond films. Dude, she was in there for like 5 minutes, and I was like,
she was great.
She was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But like at the same time, like that was such a big deal for marketing that I was like, weird, but okay, I'll let you go.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like, for me, like, this very much didn't feel like a James Bond film. At least from what I traditionally think of a James Bond film, it just felt more like a spy film,
spy thriller,
thriller.
Just like a fun,
but it was so much fun.
Spy film. I will say the ending almost had me, man. I was like choking up. I was like, when he's sitting on top of the building and he's like talking to her, and I was like,
oh yeah. I didn't feel like crying because I don't know. I mean, I don't think I had that much connection to the character, but just honestly, like I just wanted to salute him. I was like, yes, sir. I love you.
Like it makes so much
respect.
Sense. Like people are gonna find the ending to be horrible. I know it. They're gonna be like,
honestly, from what I've seen,
that to James Bond and just me, I'm just like, that's a solid.
I feel like from what I've seen, like a lot of people like the ending and what happened. I mean, because what he ended up dying, right? And he had the. And stuff like that. I mean, honestly, what else are you gonna do, right? Because like it's no time to die, and he dies. I'm like, okay, that's funny, clever. But I mean, but really, that was his only option because he could have gotten off the island if he wanted to. He knows he could have, but since he got scratched,
he didn't want to live without him.
Well, right, because if he got scratched, right, he got scratched and he has those nanites in him, so no matter what, like he could touch, he could go touch somebody else, and then that person could come in contact with them, and if they touch them, then they die. Because remember, like the way the nanites work.
Yeah, you get infected with touch.
Yeah, it's literally just touch. It's like it doesn't even matter. So like,
I will say this was this director's first time ever making a Bond film.
It was great.
The only other movie I've seen of his was Beast of No Nation, which is a Netflix film.
Oh wow. But yeah, it was a great film.
It didn't even feel like it was 2 hours and 40 minutes long. It is the longest.
It felt.
Bond film.
I want to say this, like the pace. As far as the pace, it never felt slow. Like it never felt like it was dragging. But then again, when you're sitting there for 2 hours and 40 minutes, you still feel it. Like
it's like it's long, but it didn't feel like it was overly long.
Right.
Like I feel like they put everything they wanted to put in there. And I would have been happy with even a little bit more. I'll be honest. Like, you could have given me some more stuff, and I probably would have been fine.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. As long as it's more, like, exactly. And I do agree with that, too. My only point to that is, like, you know, when you start sitting in a chair for 3 hours, you're just like, all right, I know, like, this film is great, but I'm still been sitting in this chair for 2.5 hours.
Unless it's Endgame, then the whole, like, the final half of that movie just...
Well, when you're standing up...
by a blink of an eye.
When you're standing up screaming, it don't matter.
Yeah, no, this Bond movie, like... I need to watch more Bond films.
I don't know.
I also don't feel like the need to, but I feel like they're probably really good. But
I'm sure they might be.
That's 25 movies. Like,
yeah, I'm like maybe eventually I'll watch
the
them.
MCU for the first time, but none of them, like, they're not all connected. Like, there's like different stories.
And
like,
here's the thing about the rest of the James Bond films. I don't know if you know this or not. But like you know how each of them has their own own actors. Well, those films aren't even connected.
Yeah, I know.
You know that? Okay, because like this is the first time Daniel Craig's films where they actually all connected.
And it's done so beautifully. This send off was beautiful.
It was. It really was.
The story was so good. It wasn't overly predictable. Like, there was some stuff where I was like, all right, you know, I saw that coming. But there was a lot of stuff where I was just like, I'm just having fun.
I'm just interested to see what happens.
I'm wondering if they're gonna end like this tenure of Bond, like, storyline, or if they're going to try to continue it with the new 007.
I don't think they're going to. I mean, I don't think so.
The biggest issue I have is, like, James Bond is such an iconic film character that if you try to make a film in a Bond universe without James Bond, it's going to flop. As much as I would love to see a Bond universe film,
this Bond might flop in and of itself. So. It only made, I don't know if you knew this or not, but like, so the opening box office numbers came out
domestically,
right? Which is what we look at.
Yeah, but pre-sales for like even in London, the pre-sales were fucking insane. It broke
right,
records.
And typically it's in other countries. You know, I think that Bond does better, but I think at least, well, once the movie's finished and once the movie's finished, then you can look at like the overall, like box office, because that shows how much it actually made. But just looking at least domestically for showing what it was. It only made $56 million.
That's not good.
And if you think about that,
you also got to think, like, how popular is the Bond franchise in America?
No, that's a good point, and I definitely understand that. But at least, like, a lot of people were predicting this could be the first film to make $100 million opening weekend, and Venom was the closest to make that at $80 million. So,
dude, I find the box office with Venom and the critic reception with Venom so funny every time. Because it's always exactly what opposite of what everyone thinks it's going to be. That's
my whole point with critics, and I'm not saying critics are bad. They definitely have their role and are good for things. But I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess because critics more focus on like the craft of the film versus like the enjoyment of the experience. And that's why I said I will always be a fan first, no matter how much I review films.
It makes me laugh when you look at the box office numbers for like Shang-Chi and Black Widow, and then you see Venom was just like, bam, $30 million more, motherfucker. And we're like, Venom, like MCU's comeback, didn't reach the heights of Venom.
Venom.
Sony's over here like, buying Spider-Man rights was a good idea, wasn't it?
Just imagine if they put a live-action Miles Morales film, bro. You know how that would pop off the charts. I don't know if you understand.
Watch November 12th, and Kevin Feige just be like, Miles Morales 2024.
I would shit on the Thor. I would take off my hands and like...
Here's what's... Okay, so if you guys don't know, on November 12th, I think it's November 12th, like the day after Eternals comes out, they're having a Disney showcase. And Marvel is going to have a panel. And they're going to be announcing a ton of new projects.
You're also probably going to see another Spider-Man trailer at that point.
Here's what irritates me about this panel, right? Since the last fucking time that they announced shit, we have gotten 5 projects out of like the 20 things they fucking announced, and they're about to lay more shit on us.
Yeah, they said they have 40 unannounced projects in development.
All I can think about is like, you haven't given me a fraction of what you promised me last time.
I mean, okay, yeah, that is fair, but you also got to like the pandemic.
I get that. I understand, but I'm like, Let me
like,
get further into this before you lay more stuff
like,
down.
if you think about this, I'm pretty sure we should have already seen No Way Home. We should have already seen Doctor Strange, I think.
We should have already... Thor: Love and Thunder should be coming out in November.
Yeah, I think exactly. If his normal schedule, we should have already seen Spider-Man: No Way Home. We should have already seen Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. And I'm pretty sure we should have... Yeah, exactly. We have Thor: Love and Thunder coming out in November.
But my issue right now is, like, you're going to announce more shit, and we haven't even seen, like, anything you announced last time. Like, all of Phase 5... or Phase 4 has not come out yet. Like two movies in Phase 4 has come out, and you're about to be like, here's everything to Phase 6.
I was about to say Phase 6, exactly.
Like, the only thing we know of is Fantastic Four is probably going to be the final movie in Phase 5 or Phase 4.
Exactly.
And then like they're going to be like, here's all the tiles for Phase 5 and the first tile of Phase 6. And I'm going to be like, we haven't even gotten it. And you know they're not going to announce every title coming out, right? They're going to have some mystery ones cuz like shit'll happen in the new ones coming out, and then they'll be like, surprise.
Exactly. Well,
I love Marvel, but I'm like,
we could hold
just give me more stuff now and stop giving me stuff for like 3 years later.
Exactly. We should honestly, we might even, when No Way Home comes out, I wouldn't even be put it past us if we did a whole podcast just about like that.
Oh, 100%. That's like an hour and a half. We're gonna be like doing.
We can have a whole conversation about that. But in the meantime, before we get to there, we want to thank you for joining us as we talked the newest and most promising trailers, the newest films out in theater right now, and some other content we might have watched throughout the week. So I want you to go ahead and be sure to follow us and turn on our notifications so you can get updates every time we post. As well, if you want to keep up with our activities outside the airwaves, you can stalk us on Instagram at Into the Filmverse Podcast. Bryce, if people want to follow you and your enrapturing escalades online, where can they follow you at?
You can find me on Letterboxd at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews. I review a ton of movies. Mm-hmm. And you can find me on Instagram at Payne Loves Cinema. I post some of my movie hauls and things that I get there, just like little things from my collection. And you can find me on Twitter at Sanguine Film.
That's correct.
I was like, I don't use Twitter that much. I just use it to look at other people's stuff because they're funny.
And if you want to stay connected with me, Mytchel Chandler, you can follow me by simply going to Facebook and Instagram at author Mytchel Chandler, on Twitter at Mytchel Chandler, and on Letterboxd at Letterboxd at Mitch Reviews. And that's all spelled with a Y, so it's MYTCHEL. Well, that's all for this time, our fellow cinephiles, and until the next adventure,
Excelsior!